Today we'll be taking a look at the latest rumors and predictions for Hell in a Cell. So let's start things off with Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. The first thing to really take note about this event is the fact that this is the second time we're getting a Hell in a Cell event within a year. Remember that the last Hell in a Cell event was just a few months ago in October. So usually WWE events are annually, meaning that we aren't supposed to see Hell in a Cell until this upcoming October. So why move it up? It seems that WWE is using Hell in a Cell a bit earlier than originally planned because they basically wanted to use it as a filler show to buy them time until the fans return in July. Money in the Bank usually takes place in June, but since it's a big event with two big matches and big moments, seems like they wanted fans to be present for that event and that moment. So they pushed Money in the Bank to July and moved Hell in a Cell up to serve as the filler show for June. But don't get it confused, just because we call it a filler show doesn't mean that it will consist of nothing but filler. Hell in a Cell should be a big event. WWE Hell in a Cell will be the last WWE special event inside the Thunderdome. So the last event inside of the Thunderdome should go out with a bang. So let's discuss some news, rumors, predictions, and more for this final WWE Thunderdome special event. Starting with the possibility some US title matches taking place between Sheamus, Humberto, and Ricochet. Maybe it's one-on-one or triple threat, but Sheamus should still pick up the win and come out on top there. Unless they want to do something like they did for Bobby Lashley, where Sheamus loses the title without being involved in the pin. Then we have Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair, a WrestleMania 36 rematch, and a shot at the redemption for Ripley to defeat Charlotte. With Charlotte being an all-time 13-time world champion, she should be respected as a threat going into any championship match. But Rhea Ripley shouldn't drop the title to Charlotte here at all. Whether it's a screwy finish or something like that, it may not be a straight-up pinfall, but Rhea should still walk out as champion by any means. Then we have Bianca Belair versus Bayley. Same sort of situation as the Raw Women's title. The new champion is going up against the veteran former champion. Bianca should easily walk out as champion here. And that brings up the question of our first possible return of the night. Does Sasha Banks return in this spot to attack Bianca Belair and put Bianca on notice right away? That's possible. They did do it last fall where Sasha returned at a special event to attack Bayley. So would they do that here, or would they hold on with Sasha's return, possibly put her into the Money in the Bank match or something else like that? All of that is possible. We know that Sasha Banks is being advertised for the July 16th edition of SmackDown and the Money in the Bank event. So we know that for sure she'll be back by July. The only question still unanswered is when will she return? Will she return now in June or return in July? Sasha Banks is one of those returns to keep an eye on. The women's tag team match, well, this matchup one is quite simple to predict, considering the fact there's only two tag teams left in the entire women's division, with one of those teams, of course, being the defending champions. So the only possible matchup there is Natalya Tamina versus Mandy Rose Dana Brooke. That's the only matchup they can have right now with the non-existent women's tag team division. So if that happens, Natalya and Tamina should still walk out as champions. Next up is the WWE Universal title picture. This one is a bit confusing. We're running low on time before Hell in a Cell, and not a single opponent has been built up for Roman Reigns. His entire story has been focused on Jimmy and Jay. So that is leading fans to believe that Jimmy is actually Roman's opponent for Hell in a Cell. Jimmy has made references recently to last year's Hell in a Cell event and has angered Roman Reigns after two failed attempts to capture the tag team titles. Jimmy told Roman that they are going to win. They had two chances and it didn't happen. The first match saw a screwy finish, with the referee not seeing Jimmy's shoulder being up. That led to the rematch later in the show, but Roman interrupted with a DQ. Some fans were saying, well, why did Roman interfere? He cost them the titles. Well, from Roman's eyes, he probably saw enough and figured that Rey and Dom were seconds away from defeating Jimmy and Jay again, so he stepped in before that embarrassment took place. That seems to be the explanation for his actions. Roman not only got involved and cost them the titles, Roman also forced Jay to stay with him and not go with Jimmy in the closing moment of SmackDown. So you can definitely see the writing on the wall there. He cost them the title and took Jay back from him. So this should lead us to Roman versus Jimmy. Similar to Jay, Jimmy doesn't stand a chance, but it'll be a great storytelling match, and maybe this is the match that Roman can break Jimmy and make him fall in line as well. So Roman versus Jimmy should be the Universal title match that we see, with Roman coming out on top. Next up is Alexa Bliss and Lily. Alexa seems to be at the start of a program with Shayna Baszler. There's still no word on if the two of them will officially meet at Hell in a Cell at this time of the recording, but everyone is talking about how we should see some Lily reveal by now, possibly at Hell in a Cell in some fashion. Lily was introduced in early April, and Alexa has done nothing but swing on a swing set for over 2 months now, so hopefully things get going there soon to finally kickstart this Lily persona. Like we've been talking about over the last few weeks now, we're coming down to the last few weeks for WWE to really put Alexa's magic on display. The changing personas, changing clothes, appearing out of nowhere, and all of those other pre-recorded edit tricks will no longer work in front of a live crowd. So if they plan on bringing Lily out in a big way full of edits, you're coming down to your final few weeks here to get something done. Next up is Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley. Raw's writing and the way they handle this feud has been a bit poor. It's why so many fans are turning on Drew McIntyre and tapping out on this whole feud. It feels like these two have been feuding for 6 months, and for some reason, Drew McIntyre is entitled to infinite rematches, so this feud still hasn't ended. However, this should be it. Hell in a Cell is known for putting an end to long, lengthy feuds, so this should officially be the last chapter in Lashley vs. McIntyre. But look at the big problem Raw has. Who's the next big contender for Lashley? No one knows. Raw basically doesn't have a single worthy contender for Lashley. That's why they've been stretching things out with McIntyre. There's been a lot of Brock Lesnar rumors. Obviously, Lashley vs. Lesnar has been the big talked about dream match, and SummerSlam could be the place for it to happen. The location of SummerSlam alone lets us know that Lashley has to have a big rematch. SummerSlam won't be in the Performance Center, Thunderdome, or any ordinary arena. It's going to be in Las Vegas in front of a WrestleMania-sized crowd. So one of the biggest SummerSlams ever. The first time SummerSlam that's been held in a football stadium. You have to give Lashley a big match that lives up to the show of that magnitude. Lashley can't go out for a WWE title match with one of the members of the Lucha House Party. It can't be something like that. It has to be a WrestleMania-worthy matchup in front of this WrestleMania-sized crowd. That's what leads everyone to Brock Lesnar's return. A lot have been speculating about Brock Lesnar returning during the actual Hell in a Cell match, breaking in and taking out Lashley. But what are your predictions for Hell in a Cell? Leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.